Hello. This is going to be a hard live stream just to for me to get into. There's just a few things going on for me, and this is just a really difficult time. But the words should flow easier than other live streams, so it's not going to be too difficult. I've had PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, for about 3 years now, and it was affecting me just now. And the thing I have to do when that affects me is get outside as quickly as possible. I live in a 2.5 by 2.5 square meter flat. And even before, when I had my own home, that's what I needed to do to remedy it. Just go outside. So I've got all of that concern on my head, and I'm managing my circumstance. I've been KO'd by life. I've been knocked out, and my health hasn't been good at all. Where I am to life is really beaten. And just before I stepped outside the door, I got a text message saying I had an eBay delivery. And I've been waiting for that eBay delivery. It was supplements for my health. And I got downstairs and there was nothing there. A neighbour has stolen it again. They didn't give me 5 minutes to get my clothes on and go downstairs to pick it up before they stole it. They must be a really horrible person. Look, if I'm pissed off and I just want to hurt somebody, if I'm pissed off and I just want to hurt somebody, anybody, and there's a choice of loads of people, the person I pick isn't going to be the one that suffers the most, the one that's suffering right now in the moment, and could just really do without that again. They've stolen hundreds of pounds worth of orders from me, and one of those orders traumatized me so much it must have played a big part in sending me to hospital before. I've been to hospital once since I've been here, so that must have played a big part. But it played a big part to my mental health and my life. But obviously, they don't like something about me. It's personal. I haven't heard anybody else in the building having belongings stolen, orders stolen from them. I just really didn't need that. And that's all I needed to say. Because where I am in dealing with my physical pain, the PTSD just now, my life, and everything I hope to do with my life, that just really wasn't needed. But I couldn't process that I couldn't put that in place. I wasn't able to think clearly enough to say, right, it's crap, let's just get on with it. I wasn't able to do that. And instead I had all of these things and I had that on top. I don't get what they get, because they've stolen stuff from me before, and I know the things they steal, they're all supplements, most of them. So unless they're really into supplements, I don't think they take them. It's just to annoy. Just to say, here's some power I'm going to apply over you. But I'm doing the same with the whole of humanity. I got pissed off with the picture out there. And I'm saying I'm going to change it all. If nobody else changes it, it's getting changed by me. So it's just a lazy, lazy person. A lazy person that doesn't have a mind to see the world, put things in place and say, right, he's done nothing wrong. It's not him, it's me and my life. And I'm lazy. I don't try to do anything for this world. I've not knocked on his door once to see how he is as a person. No compassion. I scream a lot because I suffer with physical pain. Never once have I had a knock on my door out of concern. Forget knocking on my door to complain. I'm still a human being and I have feelings. Sorry if my screams in the past have disturbed you. Imagine what it's like for the person going through it. I'm not doing it out of fun. And the annoying thing is I've got it largely in check while things have been harder than ever. And they're making it hard for me again. As I said, I've been waiting for those supplements. But that's the world. That's where we all are. Each one of us live in our own little bubble. And we'll do whatever it takes to maintain our own bubble. And we get nowhere really fast as a collective. We get nowhere really fast, and we wonder why Israel gets away with doing atrocities at the moment in Palestine to human beings. When my next door neighbour is that mean inside. That's what the world does to us. If we don't actively steal and do that to someone, it just means our life is better than other people's. But then it just sedates us doing anything and makes us lazy, doesn't it? If I could clean up the whole world and not for that person, right now I'd do it. Make it paradise for everyone and leave it for them. I haven't got the mental space or the breathing space within my physical body to let it go without just wanting some hurt to come back to them. That's not where I am. Where I am is totally focused on getting on with my life. If I let that get me down, it's going to ruin my mental health again. I might end up in hospital again. And I get nowhere real fast. It's like, I'm going to take this from you and give you my getting nowhere real fast in the world. And the horribleness that's brought up in me now, not only did she steal something, they steal something, I suspect it's the one lady that lives here. Not only did she steal something, they steal something, but they gave me a lot of darkness and misery that I'm having to work through. I could have really done without that. But she's taken it as an authority, that she's an authority to do that to somebody, time after time after time. It's pretty much a dead-end situation. The landlords don't care. So what can I do? So I've made a live stream, and that's all. I voiced it. That feeling of wanting revenge is just an unpleasantness that I'm left with by them. But it shouldn't last too much longer now, but I needed to make a 12-minute live stream to get my mind to that place, to get my mind to the place where my mind already is, because my life is temporarily so hard. Feelings of wanting to self-harm are brought up. This is what I mean. People don't understand. Oh, he's got a mental health disorder. We can treat him like shit. Society does. People do. Let me treat him like shit too. I want that authority. My life needs that. I've done bad things before, but never, not like that. I've not entered into darkness quite like that. The mentality that it would take for someone to do that to someone in my position time after time after time is just beyond me. I'm a human being. Come and speak to me if you've got a problem. And I really still have it in me. I really want the worst things to happen to them. I've dedicated my whole life to cleaning up the whole world that leads to that in the first place. That's my whole life. That's where I'm focused, and that's why that doesn't matter. On some level, you would think they'd be able to tune in and sense, no, he's doing something good. He's doing something good with his life. If I leave him alone or actually help him, my life will get better. But no, it's self-sabotage. I'm going to get in the way of Gabriel. He's on a mission to clean up the whole world, and he's deadly serious, and he's certain that he's going to do it if no one does it before him. So what is it in someone that picks that situation? Do they like the misery? Do they like the darkness? Do they like spreading it around? I don't know what goes through other people's minds. I got a label of a mental health disorder and it said, your one's broken, ours is fine. Your mind is broken, I've accepted that. I've got the label. Yet people are going around doing that. If their mind, didn't have a problem, didn't have a disorder, they'd be able to function in society without having to partake within illegal acts that ruin other people's lives. But unfortunately, their one is really quick. Oh, I'm popping out the door, no one's going to see me. So they get away with it. And they're hiding their own mental health disorder. So if they went down the stairs and they were in utter darkness, in utter turmoil, trying to get clear, and they got to the bottom of the stairs and it was like, I don't know what else to do. I'm lost in this world. Let's just steal something. Well, if that was the case, then I'm going to say to the universe, I forgive that person. But come and knock on my door and speak to me. I speak to my neighbours and no one brings up about the noise I make, about the pain I must be in, sheer agony. And they hear what that agony sounds like. When I'm there screaming in agony, I'm thinking about my neighbours. If I had total space all around me, nobody to disturb, I'd scream to the top of my lungs and it would be so much more helpful. My neighbours, unfortunately, as a result of living next to me and me being in pain, means the pain I am in is because of them, to some extent. But we get taught about, what do we get taught in school? How to fit into the system. How to just get the bare minimum information so we can all fit into the system and function at a bare minimum. We ask the children some really simple questions in school, set their minds off in the right direction. Philosophy classes. You don't really need to teach them anything. Just always be there if they've got a question or are muddled around the questions that we raise to them. So I'm privileged. I've had a lot of positive input in my life and I'm aware of that. And most people do not get that opportunity. But the bottom line is we've got to stay practical. If they had no breathing space when they got to the bottom of the stairs and they saw my parcel and they stole it, then fair enough, nothing can be done. But I'm guessing they had time to think, and I'm guessing they even walked past my door. Being proactive to our problems is is really fundamental. And if we're living a life with disposable incomes and fulfilling our desires on some level, ability to have friends and partners and relationships, able to have employment, apply oneself at their employment to get promoted and a better employment if that one isn't everything they need and want. There's space there. That's most people's lives. There's a lot of space compared to my life. And I'm mopping up and I'm sweeping up the last remnants of darkness. Really questioning everything. But I've had a lot of input in my life. I've had a lot of input that most people don't get. So then, what we have to say is, right, Gabriel, you've had training. Most people get this picture. Unfortunately, because of the input you have, you can sustain yourself to the same level with a lesser picture. But all that space, it's still space. So people don't think. The education system, here's enough education to function on a bare minimum. And unfortunately, if you can't function within society, that means you've got a mental health disorder. Here's just enough information so you don't have a mental health disorder in your life. But I'm going from my picture, and I'm going to go well past the space in their life. I'm going to find the space for us all that's right here and present for us. And because we haven't had the input in our life to know the space, I'm going to help us all see it. So back to work. Another 35, 50 pounds down the drain. Another 1-2 days delay to the master plan. People have died on my shoulders. It's delayed me 1 or 2 days. I'm cleaning up the whole world. At the moment, there's war in this world. My clean world doesn't include war. So whoever it is, that kind person has just put the suffering of more people dying and suffering on my shoulders. That's what that meant. What I want to hear is if your life does look like that, there is space. You have the ability to work. You have a certain, possibly a disposable income. In other words, you're able to spend it on socializing. You're able to spend it on clothes shopping. You don't have to think about every penny. Prioritizing health as like a massive, massive chunk of all the money that comes into your life. You're able to say, oh, my sister's having a baby. Let me go and spend some time with her. Your friend texts you, oh, I have the space to sit down and reply to my friend right now. I don't need to get my head in check, my physical body in check, so I have the space to sit down and reply. I haven't replied to my friend for weeks. He sent me 3 messages. That's the 3rd one today. And I haven't been able to reply. If you're able to sit down and comfortably watch TV or Netflix, play a games console, go to the gym whenever you want, there's space in your life. But as I said, I can well imagine, due to not having the same input, at the moment that looks like there's no space. And that's what the discussion I want to happen in the comments. Leave me a comment. Tell me why there's no space. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I've stolen things before. I've stolen things before. I've gone through the darkness. My one was just totally potluck. I didn't want to hurt anybody, never want to hurt anybody. So it's unimaginable for me to think of doing that to the same person and the person in the building who's the most vulnerable. No, I leave them alone. If you have a choice, I'm going to hurt this person who's vulnerable, or I'm going to take it out on the first person I see outside and just have a go at them. Doesn't really matter to me. There's space. You choose the second option. So what I'm trying to say is, and I'm going to be honest, I've gone through dark times and I know, and I've done that. I've wanted to hurt the most vulnerable people that I know and that are closest to me. Not because I hate them in any way or hated them. No, the love was still there. What it was is like, when that happens, when we're in that place, it all gets closed in. And this 2.5 by 2.5 meter box can feel like a 1 by 1 meter box. Really claustrophobic. And in that moment, it's like us alone to the universe. So we're talking to consciousness basically in that moment. We're communicating with consciousness and we're saying, look, what you're doing to me is so horrific, so unfair, so unjust. I'm going to consciously want to do this insane thing by wishing pain on vulnerable people, innocent people. I don't know if that makes sense. It's the worst thing we can do to ourselves. And if we're trapped in that box, the universe is the only person listening. And the universe is the ultimate governor of our life and lives. We don't understand the universe here. The universe is immense. And it is king. When we're in that place, and we're in that box, we're having a one-to-one communication with the universe. The pure consciousness that is the universe. And I said to it in the past, you know what, universe, this box you've put me in, it is so painful. Do you know how painful it is, universe? I am willing to do this. Are you going to do anything? Universe doesn't do anything, so I do it. And what's just taken place is me showing myself, me showing myself how bad a situation it is, that my mind is willing to do this action when everything I hope and dream for is in the exact opposite direction. But I had to be put under immense pressure. I don't care about the good input I've had in my life. To find myself in that place, there are not a lot of people that can match it in terms of lack of space. And right now the question that comes to me is, well, in my closed-in box that I'm having the conversation with the universe, I'm saying to the universe, what the fuck? I've gone through all this, I've come from that place, and I've carried on the work, and I've mopped up and swept up so much of that darkness that was there at that moment. And I've dealt with so much of that, and soon I know it's going to be gone and in check. Why are you challenging me? Why are you challenging me? My life is dead fast forward. Why is that allowed to enter into my life? And I am furious with the universe right now. I'm sorry, I am on such a mission, at such a pace, with such an energy. My understanding of people says that they do not have space to enter. My parcels get put through that door, and because of the life I'm living, they are guarded with the utmost security. Now, I don't know if that makes sense. I've explained where I am, and I've explained my situation, and what I'm trying to communicate is that what should have taken place, given what I understand of the dynamics of energy and mind, that my intent for life is so strong that when they saw the parcel, it's like it wasn't there. That's my current reality. So I am really troubled why that's gone missing. I am very troubled. Forget what was taken. This is even more important. Why are the dynamics of the universe that I understand changing? So we're pissed off at the universe again. I could expand on that and explain it more. I'm not going to. I just need to press end on the live stream right now.